Welcome to Long Run Lactic, a running media concept devoted to cultivating, documenting, and curating the beauty of finding fitness. From the infancy of our first steps to the conquest of a race won, we all have a story to tell. I'm your host, Bernard England, and today I sit down with Emily Sisson, the current American record holder in the marathon, as she prepares for the 2024 U.S. Marathon Olympic Trials. The 2021 Olympian shares what it means to represent the U.S. and insight on her most recent training block and what support means to her. Throughout the episode are scenes from a recent 10K time trial, a final preparation workout leading to this week's trials. Let's get into it. All right, we are here in beautiful Scottsdale with the one, the only Emily Sisson. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I know we getting close to trials times, and we're getting close to flight time actually now, so I'm gonna make sure we move fast. But how are you this build? How's your Scottsdale camp been? Your Phoenix camp? Been wonderful having you here. Gotten closer with you since our time moving to Phoenix, so it's wonderful having a very fast friend to be able to come and shoot stuff with and do cool downs and warm-ups, because I don't know if I'm going to do the full-time trial and workouts with you. But how's your time been here in this build-up to the trials?
Well, thanks. Yeah, it's nice being here. We do love Scottsdale. We've met so many people ever since we lived here and all the camps we do out here. So it's an amazing, it's a small running community, I feel like, because there's always people coming and going.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's special training here. So yeah, it was good. It was a good build. Got through it feeling pretty good and feel fit, healthy. So yeah, just 3 more weeks now.
Solid.
Yeah.
So you're 2023. You had a number of races that I was fortunate enough to come check you out at, the BAA 10K. I think we had the mini 10K. How do you feel this year, well, 2023 last year technically, how do you feel that buildup of races prepared you for your last buildup coming into this Olympic trial year?
I really do enjoy a lot of the road races we have on the East Coast. So it is nice when I'm based in Rhode Island, how we can just easily get up to Boston or New York for all those 10Ks. And they're just so fun to hop in those races and just race. You're not often thinking about time because of the weather or the courses. And
Right.
Just the competition's so good. So I think that's good experience. And then I did Chicago Marathon in the fall. And that didn't go perfectly, but it was still a good learning experience, I guess. I feel like I'm someone that gets confidence from experience. I feel
Right.
like someone could tell me like, you're in this shape, but that won't boost my confidence as much as just doing an event and practicing an event enough. And so I feel like now that I've run a few marathons, I'm starting to learn a bit more and understand it a bit more. So yeah, I feel like that was actually overall pretty good experience. Even though it didn't go exactly as I wanted, I feel like I took away some things, and I'm happy I did a fall marathon before the trials.
Good. Well, diving into Chicago, what do you think the biggest thing you took away? Obviously, 2022 Chicago was the monumental run for you, but for 2023 Chicago, you just mentioned you learned some things that it didn't go perfectly, but what's not perfect for Emily Sisson, right? Like for the average runner, for the normal person that's still trying to build during the fall marathon season, what does not perfect look like to you, and what are the biggest things you feel like you took away from Chicago?
Yeah, I feel like when I first crossed the finish line, my initial reaction was actually positive, I was happy about that. My first thought was, wow, I had a really rough last 8 miles and I still ran 2:22 low. So I was actually really happy about that. And then a couple days later, I was like, okay, well, I need to figure out what caused. I got a side stitch 8 miles to go, and that caused me to slow down a lot. So after a couple days, I was like, okay, we should probably make sure that doesn't happen again. So because the trials is going to be really competitive, and you can be really fit and show up, but the marathon's tough. You can't just be focusing on being as fit as you can. You need to make sure you're strong enough to race the marathon distance and race your competitors as well as you can by being strong enough, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we took away okay, let's look at a couple things and make sure I'm a little stronger so nothing breaks down in Orlando. And I feel good about the work we put in for that. And we paid a little bit more attention to how he's moving this build-up as opposed to Chicago in the fall. And I feel good. I feel like I'm in a good place. So.
How you were moving in which way?
Yeah, just making sure I don't get too stiff anywhere or tight or bound up, which could maybe cause something to break down over the course of 26.2 miles.
A marathon.
So mainly that. We just paid a little bit more attention to that. We tried also at the same time not to overthink it too much either. So, I feel like overall though, it was a solid day, and I'm excited to race again.
Yeah, well, you've had success on the track, obviously. Now I would still consider you kind of like in this infancy era of your marathon era, right? Like you're still learning so much and still building so much, trying to figure out with each build. What do you think you learned from a mental aspect about yourself this year, as opposed to last year when you obviously set the American record and now you're coming back for another build? But, I think every real runner knows every time you go out and take a step, there's something new that you just don't know yet.
Yeah.
So what do you think from a mental aspect that you picked up on along the way from January to January, now February to February now, from last Houston to now? What do you think you can learn about yourself? What things do you want to take into the trials from a mental aspect?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're always learning. If you feel like you know it all, you should just get out the sport.
Yeah,
you'll never know it all. But yeah, so what did I take away? I thought it was good to, I mean, I already said this, but to be able to kind of grit out a last 8 miles of a marathon and still have a solid performance, I think shows myself like I can still like finish somewhat strong even when things aren't going well. So that's good to know I can grind things out. Like I don't want that to happen, but if like I need to, I know I can kind of work through things for like a long period of time. So I think that was a good experience. Mentally, the marathon is a bit different than the track because you're not hurting right away. So it's kind of a weird feeling.
It's a slow burn. It's a slow pain.
So you want to be as relaxed as you can actually the first half of a marathon. And sometimes that can be a little like tricky when the crowds are like so loud and you're getting excited and if there's a lot of pressure or something. So I think mentally it's good to practice that, just being calm and as composed as you can be for as long as you can. And then and knowing that like to be ready that last like 10K especially to tackle that.
That's good. What last workout I was able to catch you at was a 10K time trial. What's a good workout that you remember from this build that really set you apart from previous years or previous builds? What's like a specialty? I know I was working out with a good friend of ours, Matt Lano and Katrina Spratford, where we got on the trail and we popped off a couple, 1.5 mile reps. But what's your go-to what's the confidence builder workout?
Confidence builder workouts. I do feel good about getting consistent long runs and tempos in, but the workouts this build that I felt like were better than previous builds by a bit were actually like those kind of workouts, 1.5 mile workouts, all my long intervals. We do those, I think, around half marathon pace and to 10K pace is what we would do. So like my long intervals can be anything from like a mile or 2K to like 2 mile repeats.
Gotcha.
And I think my 2 mile repeats are closer to half marathon pace, and the shorter I run, the faster I run. And those ones actually went really well. So I feel like I don't know what's going to happen in Orlando, but I feel like if it's going to go fast from the gun, I'm ready for that. If it's going to be kind of slow and tactical, but then a faster finish, I feel ready for that. So I'm just trying to get ready for whatever
ready for it all.
might get thrown at me.
That's right.
Yeah.
Now, an interview with Emily Sisson cannot be complete without bringing up the one and only Shane.
Yeah.
What does support mean to you? Like if somebody were to ask you support team, support system. Now I've been here and I've seen, the beauty of one Shane, but what does that support system look like to you? What does that mean to you?
Yeah, I do think it is important especially as a distance runner who like I don't train with a group, to have like an amazing support person has really helped me in my career, and that's my husband, Shane. So a lot of what he does, I feel like you see it. It's hard to explain what he does. Whenever people ask, what does your husband do? I'm like, he kind of does everything.
Jack of all trades, man. When you're on that bike motivating, it's hard to, I almost asked him after the workout, like, how are you, you got to go in between coach mode and husband mode, and that's a fine line. So he from the outside looking in, he plays it very well and he does it very well. So
he's good. Yeah, it helps. He's also a therapist, so he can come at it from like the emotional support angle. But then there's some days he can put on like the coaching hat if he needs and tell me to like relax my breathing or something if he thinks I'm too tense. Or, I don't know. He paces all my workouts, which is really handy. And, just someone there to talk to, talk things through with.
I'll give you a grammar test at the end.
Thanks. So he does a lot. And he helps also, like, when I'm in hard training, he can sometimes take things off my plate, which is really nice of him to do. So, I can like focus on my recovery. And yeah, I hope someday I can return the favor a bit, but I don't think I'll ever be as much of a support person for his career as he has been for me. I don't, yeah, it's definitely a unique situation, but he's been, instrumental, or it's so important for my career. Yeah.
Race day. You're in the zone, you're locked in. What's Emily Sisson wearing? What's she, fueling with? Like, what's your race day shoe?
So my race day shoe is the New Balance Pacer, and I've been wearing that since last year. Chicago 2022, so I guess 2 years ago now. And actually, is what I use before I race. So I start my race day with the tropical orange UCAN energy powder, and it sits really well in my stomach, so I feel really confident. Mm-hmm. I use it before all my workouts and long runs. You can actually use the Edge gels, which are the packets, if you don't want to use the powder, but I actually like the powder. So I use that, and then I race with my Garmin 265S.
265. I'm a Garmin guy myself, so I love this one. It was a Father's Day gift that I stole back because I loved it too much, and to this day, he'll always ask every time she's like, "Isn't that my watch?" He's like, "Oh, Dad, you didn't use it as much as I will." So
when you said Father's Day, I was confused for a second.
No, it was a Father's Day gift years ago. I think this is my old Phoenix Sapphire 3 or something, so it's definitely nice. Needs an update. All right, that's cool. Rapid fire.
All right.
Favorite mile of a marathon?
I got a lot of shit for this, but the last one is the best.
26?
Well, no. Sorry, the last 400 meters. When you see the finish line, there's this excitement I don't get when I race other distances where I'm just so excited to cross the finish line. And I don't know if it's just that I'm so tired from being on my feet for so long, or if it feels like I just conquered another marathon and I'm just so happy to be there. But yeah, it's the last one. You got
25 and it's 26. That makes you excited.
It's it's actually 26.0 and I can see the finish line. I'm so excited.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you break the American record.
I think this is not the best place.
Favorite month of the year to train?
October. I love October. I love the fall in New England. It's my birth month, so
That's fair. It's
a fun month.
Favorite state to race in?
Favorite state to race in? Probably New York.
Okay, yeah. Fair. Diamonds or pearls?
Oh, pearls. Pearl's my middle name. Gotta go with that.
It's my grandma's name. Black or blue?
Blue.
Red or white?
Red.
Race day on the track or race day in the marathon?
Ooh, I don't know. I like both. Can I say both?
Fair, you can say both. Half or full marathon?
Oh, I actually don't have a favorite distance, so I'll say full.
See, that's what happens.
But I do like the half.
When you start getting so fit, you can do any distance, and you just say, I'm doing them all.
I like them all for different reasons, though. So
that's fair.
I'll go with marathon.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
What's your favorite brew? Are you a latte person or are you a...
No, just Americano.
That's pretty...
plain.
I'll give you a strong one.
Plain.
All right, last thing. For those that are starting their journey running or those that are already on their journey but just need more added motivation to try and get to the Olympic trials or try and make an Olympic team, how would you motivate that person to start that journey?
Just showing up every day and just keep showing up and keep going, because running's a sport. You do get out of it what you put into it, but it's not always shown right away, if that makes sense. I definitely have seasons where I've dealt with injuries and setbacks and I feel like I worked so hard and maybe I didn't get what I wanted at that exact moment. But over years of putting in the work and showing up to practice and enjoying the process as much as I could with my teammates that I had at the time or whoever I surrounded myself with, I feel like I eventually got where I wanted to go, but it wasn't always at the time. It didn't always seem like I was going to, if that makes sense.
Right.
If you just keep showing up and keep trying and keep working, you're going to have success if you just stick with it long enough. It might not be immediate, especially if you're dealing with an injury or sickness or something that can hold you back for a bit. But if you just keep going, I don't know, that's probably the best advice I can think of.
The nice thing about, doing this with you is I've gotten to know you over the last year or so. So one attribute that I've picked up on that, I know Shane's a beautiful person, but there is an innate part of your personality that I've witnessed that there's a really tough grit part where you will get out and you will do the hard stuff every single day, right? I just got a chance to watch you in the 10K where it's I know this sucks. And I can see Shane yelling, saying, hey, this is supposed to hurt. And you fighting for it every stride, every beautiful stride, I'll say that. So, congrats getting this far. I'm excited to come watch you race. And last thing, what does it mean you've already been there once, but what does it mean to represent the USA for you? What will it mean to make a team?
It is like the greatest honor, and I really, really hope things work out in 3 weeks from now and I can represent the US at a second Olympics. I think that would just be incredible, and it feels like another dream come true. I remember like back in 2020 thinking I just wanted to make one Olympic team. If I just made one, like I'd feel content and I'd be happy. And I feel like that's just such a runner mindset, is you always want to do a little bit more. And so even after making one team, I'm like, well, now I want to make a second. So I think, I don't know how I got sidetracked there, but yeah, I'd love to be racing in Paris. So that's what we've been working towards the last few months. And I feel like we've done everything we can to set myself up to hopefully give myself the best opportunity on the day. And so, that's all you can really do. So I hope it works out.
Well, I'm with you. All the rest of your people and your support team is all with you. And we hope to see you repping that red, white, and blue. And we'll all be screaming for you on February 3rd.
Thanks.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
We are out. Emily Sisson, congrats and good luck.
Thank you.